I think there may have been a handful of times in my childhood that I caught a glimpse of a Mercedes. I can still remember being so excited when I saw one on the road and how the drivers looked so chic and so successful behind the wheel. You could say that my early fascination with Mercedes was mainly due to desiring that lifestyle of luxury and elegance that I had envisioned in my mind. That passion for cars started early and has grown over time, and now most people call me a car fanatic. A lot of people don't realize my car background. I grew up in rural North Carolina in the middle of NASCAR country, racing go-karts on a dirt track that my dad built beside of my house. I was also supported by my stepfather, who worked for Holman Moody with Ford Racing and is also a motorhead. Most people are shocked to hear that I got a job when I was 15 to pay for my first vintage 1974 Karmann Ghia, and that I was the president of the high school car club. Fast forward 30 years and a handful of vintage car ownerships later led me to Mercedes. As an artist and a designer, I have always been drawn to things that are different, and I wanted my next car to be elegant and to have a history that I could relate to. People always ask me, hey, why Mercedes? I give them one answer: because the company may never have been founded without the financial support, the determination, the bravery, and the intelligence of a woman named Bertha Benz. Bertha Benz was the wife of engine builder Carl Benz, and she believed so strongly in her husband's invention that she put up her own inheritance money backing his business. On August 5, 1888, Bertha took his motor wagon without her husband knowing it and set out on a maiden voyage, traveling 66 miles round trip with her two young sons. It was the first time that any vehicle had ever traveled that kind of distance, nor had anyone ever seen anything like it, especially with a woman behind the wheel. Along her journey, Bertha ran into issues with the motor wagon and had to stop for petrol at a pharmacy and even unclogged the fuel line using a pin in her hat and insulated it with part of her garter. A blacksmith helped her mend a chain, and when her wooden brakes failed, she stopped at a cobbler for leather, inventing the world's first pair of brake linings. She was her own mechanic and even redesigned the gear shifting system when she returned home. She proved to the world that her husband's motor wagon was a reliable and a viable source of transportation for the masses. Bertha is the kind of woman that I look up to and I'm inspired by. I have a deep connection to people who do things outside the box and who are driven by their passions. If Bertha did not wake up that morning and do something that had never been done before, the automobile may have never been invented. She was truly ahead of her time, and I consider her a significant pioneer in the creation of the automobile. I was fortunate to be invited by Dietmar Exler, the CEO of Mercedes at the time, to ride on the patent motor wagon during the Concours d'Elegance at Pebble Beach. What made it extra special is that it happened to be on Women's Equality Day, and I would like to think that Bertha would have been so proud that so many people were able to see something that she helped create. I was honored to be a part of that, and I will forever be grateful for something so special. Fast forward to 1962. Yet again, women behind the wheel of a Mercedes make history.
Die Schwedin Evi Rosqvist von Koch fährt den Mercedes mit der Nummer 609.
Racing team Evi Rosqvist and Ursa Wirth became the first women to participate in the Argentinian Grand Prix. This was one of the toughest and the most grueling long-distance rallies in the world, and it was dominated by male competitors since its inception. Out of 258 cars that entered that race, only 43 made it to the finish line. Everyone said they would never finish, that the rally was far too dangerous, and they couldn't do it. So the women drove home a winning sweep, finishing the race 3 hours ahead and set a new speed record. What makes them particularly near and dear to me is that they drove a 1962 Fintel like the one I drive today. You have to remember that in 1962, women were not thought of as race car drivers, and they really broke the stereotypes for their generation. As quoted by Iwi, they said I would never finish, so I finished first. Following in the footsteps of these two brave women was female race car driver Ellen Lohr. Lohr is considered to be Germany's top female driver, outperforming all of her competitors behind the wheel of a Mercedes-Benz DTM race car. Between 1990 and 1995, she drove successfully for the AMG Mercedes team in the DTM, which is a legendary race where production-based street cars are modified to compete against each other.
With 2 laps to go, Lohr overtakes the former F1 driver, albeit with a very unladylike maneuver, and carves her name into the series annals forever.
She is currently the only female driver in history to have won a DTM race. She went on to participate in the world-famous Dakar Rally, which crosses the continent of Africa. Ellen is a fearless competitor, and she is currently competing in NASCAR and has even raced trucks. She serves as an ambassador for Mercedes and represents She's Mercedes, which is the women's division of Mercedes that is dedicated to inspiring, connecting, and empowering women. She has also represented Mercedes in the Mille Miglia. Ellen is a true racing legend. I am inspired by these women and anyone who dares to do something that has never been done before. I've made it my mission to continue empowering women within the world of cars. In 2019, I drove my own 1962 Fintel 5 hours to Monterey Car Week at Pebble Beach to compete in the Legends of the Autobahn. I was told that I should not do it, I could not do it, and it was a completely bad idea. Despite competing with cars worth 5 times as much as my own, my car won first in class. Little girls, they have big dreams. They become women with a vision, and these women serve as an inspiration to my own life. I always say that the cars are great, but it's the people and the stories behind them that make them so special.